You know that feeling? When things are going great, everything's calm, and then this little voice in your head starts whispering, "This is too good. Something's about to go wrong." That's what we're digging into today. This really weird, very human paradox of why a peaceful, stable life can sometimes feel totally unsafe. All right, so let's just jump right in. Why does this happen? For some of us, that feeling of peace we say we want is the very thing that trips all our internal alarms. It's confusing, it's frustrating. So what is actually going on under the hood?
Oh, the whole conflict is right here. It's this internal tug of war. Consciously, you're aiming for calm, right? You want that secure relationship, that stable career. But deep down, there's this other part of you, a subconscious program that's been wired completely differently, and it keeps trying to pull the car back onto that bumpy, chaotic road it knows so well.
To really get this, we first have to redefine what our bodies actually think of as safe. And, spoiler alert, it's probably not what you think it is.
And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. Your nervous system doesn't operate on logic. It operates on history, on repetition. It learns what's normal from your earliest experiences, and it builds this kind of internal map. The paths you walked the most, even if they were paths through a chaotic forest, get labeled safe, just because they're so familiar.
So, if our safety map is based on what's familiar, where the heck did this blueprint for chaos come from in the first place? Yeah, you guessed it. It starts way, way back.
There's a concept that helps explain this origin, sometimes called the father wound. Now, let's be clear, this isn't always about a dad who wasn't physically there. It's much more about a childhood that was shaped by emotional inconsistency or absence. When you're a kid in that kind of world, your nervous system has no choice but to adapt to survive the unpredictability.
And this is the result, right here. I mean, if you grew up constantly walking on eggshells, never knowing what mood you were going to come home to, then that state of being on high alert, that feeling of chaos, that's not chaos to your system, that's just Tuesday. That becomes your home base, your normal.
So, once that's your normal, once chaos is your baseline, you can probably see where this is going. What happens when your body actually gets a taste of genuine peace? This quote just says it all. For a nervous system that's been trained for chaos, peace doesn't register as safe. It registers as weird, as an anomaly. The brain is basically screaming, "Uh-oh, this is too quiet. Something bad has to be coming." The quiet isn't peace, it's just the unnerving silence before the storm you're convinced is about to hit. Okay, look at this. This chart breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got a secure nervous system. For that person, quiet is peace. Consistency feels like safety. Calm is a chance to rest. But look at the other side. For a system wired in chaos, quiet means something's wrong. Consistency is suspicious. You're thinking, what's the catch? And calm? Oh, that's just the moment you brace for impact, waiting for that other shoe to drop. Same input, totally different realities. So that internal alarm is blaring. What does the nervous system do? Well, it does the only thing it knows how to do. It tries to get back to familiar territory. It tries to get back home. And this is where it gets really wild. We start manufacturing our own drama, picking fights. It sounds totally backwards, I know. But think about it. That feeling of waiting for something bad to happen is absolute torture. So subconsciously, you just make it happen. You start the argument. You create the problem. Because at least then you're in control of the storm instead of just waiting for it to hit you. It's a twisted way of ending the suspense. Let's just walk through this cycle really quickly. Step 1. Something good and stable shows up. A peaceful relationship, a great job. Step 2. Your internal alarm system goes haywire. Danger, this is not normal. Step 3. You unconsciously do something to create chaos. And step 4. You're back in that familiar, dysfunctional mess. And the craziest part? The nervous system actually breathes a sigh of relief. Because hey, at least we're back on ground we recognize. Now I know, seeing this pattern laid out like this can be a tough pill to swallow. It might even hit a little too close to home. But listen, the point of this is never, ever about blame. It's about understanding. Because you can't change a pattern you don't even know you're running. Seriously, if you take just one thing away from this explainer, I want it to be this. This pattern is not a character flaw. It is not a sign that you're broken. It is a deeply ingrained survival strategy that worked. It helped a kid get through a really tough, unpredictable environment. The only problem is that the strategy is still running on autopilot long after the original threat is gone. And that right there, recognizing this is a learned habit and not just who you are, that's where all the power comes back to you. Because if a habit was learned,
well, a new one can be learned too. It lets us end on a much more powerful question. If chaos is just an old habit, what's the new habit you want to choose? What would it take to start teaching your system, slowly and gently, that peace can finally truly be safe?